Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Rome 2 review. Before we get started, I would just like to make one thing very clear. This is a good game, but it should have been great, and that's the disappointing part about it. Now, I got into Total War with Rome Total War, the original first one. So you can imagine my hype and excitement for finally going back to the Rome era. It was probably the highlight of my gaming life, or at least a highlight. The last one was Skyrim, I think, which... good lord, I have a really bad track record. So I was really excited when I got the Rome 2 in the post 3 days early, only to find out that I couldn't play it 3 times early because Steam wouldn't allow it. So after waiting 3 days to play the fucking game, me just literally sitting there at my desk staring at the fucking game box, sitting there going, I will play you. I will play you. So when I finally got it installed and I finally loaded it up, so with my excitement building beyond fucking reason, I clicked the Rome 2 icon. Play, telling all my friends and laughing at them because they were still preloading it. And immediately I jumped into recording. Fucking screw the prologue and everything, which was a mistake by the way. And I started recording immediately. Very hard difficulty, I thought. Surely they said that the AI has improved and the game's going to be a bit harder, and I usually play on very hard, so we'll go very hard. That was a fucking mistake. Next time I will totally go legendary, because very hard is pretty much piss easy difficulty, so legendary has to be normal difficulty, right? Anyway, enough with the backstory shit, we'll get right into the pros and cons, if you will. So, the first thing I noticed was the AI, and I'm not just talking about the in-game battle AI, but the AI on the campaign map as well. Now, going into Rome 2, we were promised advanced AI, improved AI. The AI were going to be better than ever before, thinking them for themselves with intelligence. Bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. If anything, we have gone backwards. I compare the level of intelligence to Medieval 2's AI for the vanilla game, if not slightly worse in areas due to bugs, which in itself isn't too bad for Medieval 2 level of AI. It worked, and that was an old game. And as someone that plays a lot of Medieval 2 and the associated mods with it, I am used to that level of stupidity. But going forward, I was hoping and I was promised advanced AI, better AI, more intelligent AI. Hell, I'd be happy and just completely content with Shogun 2's AI. And yet they decided, nope, we're gonna go back to Medieval 2. So yeah, nice work on that, Creative Assembly. Now, the AI on the campaign map itself, I am saying AI a lot, aren't I? Anyway, the AI on the campaign map itself is also incredibly defensive, I've noticed. For example, if you want to go conquer new peoples in Gaul, they will tend to just sit on their ass next to in the surrounding area of their settlement so that they can get the reinforcements from their garrisons. Which makes a deal of sense, but in a way it just feels so slow-paced and so I can't wait for the enemy to come to me or set up any decent ambushes because they're just going to sit on their ass at the same location. So what it boils down to is you just throwing your entire military power at the enemy and wiping them out as quickly as possible. Which isn't the way I like to play Total War games. I'm a very defensive player. I like to lure the enemy to me and fight them on my grounds, on my terms. That's not really an option with Rome 2. Because the enemy's just kinda... the enemy pretty much plays like I play. Defensively. They stay in their own locations and draw the enemy to you, but they're drawing you to them. So you're just sitting there thinking, okay, I have an ambush set up right here. I'm at war with Gaul. Where the fuck are they? Turns out they're all next to their city, waiting for you to come to them. And when you finally do engage the enemy, whether or not they eventually come towards you or you just fucking fling all your military power at them, the auto-resolves are really, really easy. And I mean in the sense that in my Iceni campaign recently, I have landed in Gaul and straight away within like 20 turns, swept through the entire of Gaul and taken it all over. I control all of Gaul in like 20 turns with barely any losses whatsoever. The only casualties I took was due to my own incompetence, not any level of difficulty. So far, I have taken over all of Britannia and all of Gaul and had absolutely no challenge whatsoever. In my Rome campaign, I have sailed across and taken Carthage, which was destroyed before I even got there. So Carthage is just a little tiny fucking island people now, being beaten the shit out of by some minor faction. And so far I've taken Carthage and pretty much all of the fucking southern coastline of the Mediterranean, and I have had no challenge at all. I've had more challenge in Medieval 2 and its mods and whatnot than I have in this. So far, absolutely no challenge whatsoever on very hard difficulty. And you can't tell me legendary difficulty is going to be so much more harder that there's going to be a challenge there. And I'm the kind of gamer that likes a challenge. I play games to have fun. Obviously, that's my main aspect of my entire channel, is enjoying myself. But I can't help but dislike the game to a sense that it's just so easy, with many examples in the campaign itself of the game being just watered down and easy. The building management, for example, you now just have to click on any settlement in that province, and I do not at all feel attached to any of my settlements. I can't get the sense of, holy shit, there's like 3 stacks of troops coming towards Constantinople that I have spent the last, like, fucking 100 turns building up and making into this massive city that's given me all of this income. None of that. It's just, okay, click on this tree, and then, yeah, I'll click on this shrine, and yeah, okay. I'll just leave that there and go do something else. Another example of you being slowly disconnected from the game is the removal of the family trees, which is something that really fucking annoys me as an RPG player. And in all of my videos, especially with my Westeros Total War videos, I tend to put a lot of RP into my games. Putting yourself and immersing yourself into the campaign and into your characters' lives, having an aspect of actually caring about your generals and where they're going and why they're on campaign and shit, actually brings you deeper into the game and makes it more enjoyable to watch for you guys, definitely. But with the removal of the family tree, you've got the aspect completely removed. My generals are now pawns, tools to be thrown away and replaced at my whim. No longer will I have a son that goes to avenge his father's death when he died in Gaul. No longer will I have a 10-star general that I really care about, and when he dies, no longer will I be fucking bothered. They've just completely removed any aspect of me actually being a part of the world. I'm just a fucking overseer, fucking moving units around, so I don't give a shit about any of my generals, their names, their families, or their fucking desires. The trait system is horrible. It's like a watered down version of Shogun's. Shogun 2's was awesome. It had a nice little branching system. You could see all of the things that you were going towards, and you could generally plan out how your general was going to grow. Shogun 2 had a family tree, so you still had all the aspects of RPing if you wanted to feel connected to certain characters and certain generals, and have the ability for their son to come of age and go fuck up the people that killed his father and whatnot. And that aspect of Total War games has always dragged me into the game and immersed me into the whole campaign. But in Rome 2, that's been completely removed. Which leads me to the politics section, which just looks like a half-finished thing that was meant to be something, but they didn't quite have enough time to finish it up and do what they actually wanted to do with it. This could have been actually pretty good, but as it is right now, it just kind of feels like it's a feature that you have, but that you can completely ignore and that doesn't really need to be there. All it does is serve to annoy you when you realize that this general that you've been playing with has been giving another faction power for all of the actions that you've been doing with him. The entire political system thing that they've got set up is just fucking useless, really. It could be easily removed and nobody would give a shit. It's a fucking feature that just doesn't need to be there. Bring back the goddamn family trees and get rid of the fucking political thing, or make the political thing actually better than it is. It looks like they've tried to put something in that was a good idea, but didn't have enough time to finish it, so they left it in half-assed. If you're going to have a politics system, especially when you're playing a faction like Rome, it should have a major impact on your campaign, on your generals, on your politicians. You should have more interactivity with the senators and all the fucking politics and everything. But you don't. It's, oh, you've occasionally got to sacrifice a bull, or assassinate this person, or stop some blackmail with gold. It's a feature that could have replaced the immersion of the family tree, and have been a really fun little system to do. On the side of actually moving your military forces, you could have played the senators, done diplomacy and backstabbing and intrigue to get rid of other generals that fucked with you, and it could have been something. It really could have been quite fun and enjoyable little system, but as it is, it's just completely fucking useless. The diplomacy in itself, with other factions and the communications between them, it's okay, but really it adds absolutely nothing other than giving you a list of why the other factions aren't accepting your offers. So once again, we're stuck with a diplomacy that is pretty much the same as previous Total War titles, which is a shame in itself. The UI is another disappointment, something that doesn't look too bad with the unit cards, but for the unit cards for like Rome and Iceni, it feels like those unit cards should really be used for Eastern factions. And then the ones in the Mediterranean should have their own type of UI and own unit cards and etc. And then the ones in the North and Gaul and the Barbarian factions should have their own unique unit cards and UI. But as it is, they've just sort of stuck the plain ass looking ones on every single faction. Once again, something that I think they might have been trying to do but didn't have enough time to do. You can see this is all boiling up to me blaming Sega, right? Now, despite the fact that it appears that I've only had bad things to say about the game, it is good. But the thing is, we were promised great, and that's what's disappointing. There's so many aspects of the game that are just sort of, why the hell did you do that? The entire game is just filled with things that have been taken out and nothing that has been added in. Name a single thing, and I mean a major thing, so the fucking cinematic camera does not count, although I do enjoy that. Name a single thing that Rome 2 has added as a whole to the Total War series. There's nothing. It has added nothing of significance to the Total War series whatsoever, which is why there's only the negative shit to look at. The disappointing little nuggets that when added together make a pile of fucking nuggets, and that's all you can look at. The pile of bad nuggets. The rotting pile of nuggets in the fucking corner of my room that I'm just sitting there going, ah, fuck's sake, Sega, you bastards. It's a good game. It really is, and I would recommend buying it when it gets a little bit cheaper. You'll enjoy it, especially when the bugs are removed, as long as you don't have high expectations for it. This is not the best strategy game, as so many critics have said. I've got the case right here. Winner of over 20 E3 2013 awards and nominations. I'm not sure how it did that. The director's cut of the game must have been better than what they've given us. Because when it boils down to the bare minimum, this game has taken far more than it has given. It's good, it is, but it should have been great. And with all of the little things that are just so annoying and stupid that they've removed from the game, or added things that they shouldn't have added, or done things that they shouldn't have done or should have done, it just adds up to a giant mountain of negativity and disappointment. But if you can get around that mountain and just fucking push it to the side, it is still enjoyable. You still can have a laugh and enjoy the game. You can play the campaign. It is playable, at least for me. I know some of you have had some major UI and graphical errors, but I haven't personally experienced those, so I can't comment on them. But when it boils down to it, it is a good game. I have enjoyed it so far, and I don't regret pre-ordering. Well, part of me does, because it's sort of disappointing, but at its core, it's still a Total War game, and it's still a strategy game. Will I be playing it in 2 years, like I'm still playing Medieval 2? Probably not. It will depend greatly on the modding community, I think. But nevertheless, guys, we'll end this review here. I don't usually like to score games. I just like to give my opinions and let you guys come up with your own, with your overall score and your own opinions, basically. I give you my opinions, and it's up to you guys to decide whether or not you agree with me. If you don't, fair enough. If you do, fair enough. If I had to rate the game, I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's probably around about the thing. And it's an average game. It really is. It hasn't added anything to the Total War series. There's nothing overly majorly good that I can say about it, and that's the sad and disappointing factor, that it's just not great. It has not added anything. It's just average. Really, that's the perfect word for it. Average. That just fucking makes me really depressed, to be honest. That is all for now. Thank you guys for watching. I know I talk a lot, and about quite a lot, but hopefully you've enjoyed listening to me rant about this. That is all for now, guys. I will see you in another video. Soul out.